Hey everybody, I'm Jason Fox with John L. Scott Madrona Group, and today I want to talk to you about the difference between a condo and a house. So I've been showing a lot of condos recently, and sometimes we'll pull up to a condominium, and when I'll explain to people that it's a condo, they're surprised. And why is that? Well, people often think that the difference between a condo versus a house is whether there's a yard or not, right? And that is not always the case with the detached condominium, which we'll cover in just a second. So the first thing of note is that the average price of a home in Snohomish County right now is about $550,000. The average price of a condo is $394,000. So a significant price difference. I think most of us can identify the typical multi-unit attached condominium as the one that looks like an apartment complex. It's the detached condominium that we generally kind of struggle with the yard and the fence. Okay, so what is a condo? The first thing to understand is the word condo refers to both a unit of ownership in a building and a legal form of ownership. Condominium is defined by condolaw.net, refers to real property developments in which the property can be divided by lines on the grounds like traditional real estate, but it can also be divided with horizontal planes like the floors of a building. So you'll own your own condominium unit, plus you'll have a collective interest in the common areas like the pools, lobbies, elevators, and that kind of thing. According to the newest RCW, the walls, floors, and ceilings are the boundaries of a unit, and everything inside basically is what you own, right? So that's going to be what you're responsible for. The types of condos: there's an attached condominium, there's the townhome, and there's the detached condominium. The attached condominium is the one we're all familiar with, the apartment style building, where they share a sidewall and ceilings and floors. In this type of ownership, you generally own from the walls in. So, light plumbing, appliances, heaters, this kind of thing, and all the exterior roof, siding, windows, foundation, all the big ticket items. That's part of the common area that you pay into maintaining with the HOA. The townhome is similar, except for the units are not stocked on top of each other. They're only sharing sidewalls. Then the detached condo are, for all intents and purposes, a single family home where the owner is responsible for everything inside the boundaries of the lot. So you would be responsible for the landscaping and the foundation and the roof and the windows, all the big ticket items. Now, you might think that if something has an HOA, then it's definitely a condo, but that's not the case either, as some builders will put HOAs on residential complexes, maybe to help maintain streets or street lights, that type of thing. But generally, the HOA, which is the homeowners association, will cover and service the common areas, amenities, sometimes utilities, and they're generally created as corporations. And then they have declarations known as the CC&Rs, which are basically the rules, the covenants, conditions, and restrictions. The goal is to preserve the community investment. So CC&Rs and HOA dues can be seen as a negative for some people, where they just want to be able to do whatever they want to be able to do, and then a positive for some people where they're like, well, this is an investment for me and I want somebody to protect that investment. And that's kind of the goal of the HOA. The typical HOA dues in Snohomish County are going to be $200 to $400 a month. They can be more, sometimes they're less. Sometimes if it's a detached condo, it's $5, $30 a month. So it really depends, and each one kind of covers a little bit different things. The best bet is to make sure that you go through the resale cert and all the CC&Rs with your licensed real estate agent, maybe even a lawyer. Okay, so what is the difference between the detached condo and a home, and what is best for you? You're going to see a house. It looks like a house, but it's called a condo. Why? Because it has an HOA? No, we already covered that. But it's usually because that city has a very specific requirement for lot sizes in order for a home to be classified as a single family detached versus a detached condominium. And so if a developer gets, let's say, for example, a 1 acre lot, and let's say due to the zoning of that particular area, they have two choices. They could put 4 single family homes on that lot, or maybe they could put 8 detached condominiums. Well, while we know it's true that the single family homes will sell for a little bit more, it's not enough where you wouldn't still make more money if you could sell 8 units priced slightly lower than just 4 units, right? So, they'll do that sometimes. And then of course the units have to be much, much closer, and you don't have to be as far away from the street. And there's a lot of restrictions that are removed so you can do that, the developer. Before you get upset with the developer, remember there are some pros to that as well. For example, it's a lower cost. So you can get into a nice single family type home with a yard and a fence for less money. And also, if you're paying into those HOA dues, you have somebody kind of taking care of some stuff. So in addition, your property taxes will be lower. When trying to decide between a house and a condo, the first thing to consider is price. So all things being equal, a condo is going to be less money than a single family home. The HOA dues kind of wash out because oftentimes they'll cover utilities, but they also cover those big ticket items, of which if you were to put money aside to save for those kind of items, it would kind of wash out in the end. And then finally, the taxes are lower. The second most important factor is maintenance and upkeep. So with a condominium, especially an attached condominium, you won't have any yard or anything really to work on, except for maybe if an appliance goes out or your furnace goes out. Whereas with a house, you're going to have landscaping and all kinds of maintenance. So the condominium is, much easier to own. Privacy, buying a house, a single family home, will give you more privacy than a condo. Well, as an attached condo or a townhome, you're going to be sharing at least one wall or up to 2 or 4 walls. Whereas a home, you're not sharing any walls. And then with a detached condo, you're also not going to be sharing any walls. But oftentimes the zoning has it so where you're only going to be about 5 feet away from your neighbor. So privacy is definitely on the side of the single family home. And then condos do come with some risk. If the HOA isn't managed well, they can run out of money. And then sometimes if something comes up and they're low on funds, then they have to get money from each individual owner in the form of what's called a special assessment. Finally, you should consider resale value. While you can buy a condo for less, they typically don't have as good of resale value as the single family home. So really, it depends on what it is that you're trying to achieve with you and your party. So which one is going to be right for you? There's pros and cons of both. Main difference between a detached condo and a house is simply the legal classification. So you can look online when you're searching and see if it's labeled a house or a condo, but the best bet is to talk to a licensed real estate professional, a lawyer, or get a hold of the legal description and see how the home is classified as either a condo or a house. And when deciding, which would better suit your needs, consider price, maintenance and upkeep, privacy, risk, and resale value. I hope this has cleared up the difference between a condo versus a house for you a little bit. I'm Jason Fox. Make sure you hit me up at www.themadronagroup.com. Thanks for watching.